Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another monster video. So in today's video, I'm back with another video for you guys. So today's video is going to be all about the top 10 best attackers in Monster Legends. Now, there's more new attackers than you think, okay? And we're going to go over every single one of them. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys know my top 10 best attackers for you guys to invest in. So I hope you guys are excited. If you are, make sure you drop a like, subscribe. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so now there's gonna be this list that I'm actually gonna go over. It's actually gonna include some monsters where like their description is supposed to be like a hybrid, or it might be like a supporter, tank, whatever it is, but they can be some really good attackers. Now if we're comparing that specific monster versus like an actual attacker role monster, I'd rather invest in the non-attacker role. Well, I'll let you guys know what I mean in a second. So for example, okay, this is just an example. If we were to talk about Robor, this monster is not an attacker, right? But if we were going to compare Robor, right, because that monster has some damaging skills, if I'm not mistaken, to a monster from like Forsaken era. I know this is a bad comparison, or like let's say original Mythic, all right? And we're gonna compare it with, like, for example, either Armor Claw, Zavibit, which Zavibit's more of a torturer, but Armel, let's say, or Siberial. You guys can obviously go with the other monster. So stats do make a pretty big difference, and I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys know, of course, the top 10 best attackers that I personally think you guys should invest in. Now, this list that I'm gonna go over is not going to be in order, but I will be saving some of the best ones near the end, so keep watching. But anyway guys, the first monster that I personally think that actually deserves in the top 10 has got to be Bashir. So Bashir, even though the monster got a huge nerf, I still think this monster has potential. You can still use it, of course, not so much on PvP. Well, it depends where we talk. So if we're talking like legendary league, I wouldn't actually like use it that much, unless of course you have like better monsters. Obviously use those ones, but when it comes down to you know, for example, Team Wars, where the books adventures, right, this monster comes in handy. Also the water and magic element, especially water, this monster could come in handy as well. I know there's Tideborn, there's Geneza, for example, for magic, which are better options, but again, adventures book for Team Wars, and this monster still has some potential. It's better than many of the other old attackers, let's say. And then of course we're going to keep going in the list, but this is just number 10 in my opinion. This monster can actually still do some damage for sure. Now the next monster we're going to go over is from, is this the Alpine era? I think this is the Alpine era, right? Or no, wait, this is the, is it the Alpine? You guys let me know in the comments. I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, this is the multiverse right here. Oh wait, this is Alpine right here. Historia, right? Historia, gotta be it. So anyways, right here guys, Gardenion, man, this monster is just so good. Now I know that this monster got nerfed recently, but it's still pretty good. Some of you guys are probably wondering what the heck is the nerf. Well, the monster straight got nerfed. So that artifact, in the past you weren't able to actually trade disable this monster, but now you can. So that artifact can now be trade disabled, but it's okay. Still, artifact is a pretty good trade if you're not going to go up against monsters that would trade disable you. You do have area toxins, which is literally one of the most broken tortures in the game, in my opinion. I really like area toxins. Whenever I go up against it, I'm like scared that one of my monsters gets it and it just like literally takes away half of its life. That's how good it is. But anyways, overall, the monster is amazing. I would highly recommend investing in it. This is one of the mythics you definitely want to invest in, especially for the mechanical book for Team Wars. That would actually come in handy. Another one would be for light and also nature element. This monster is just amazing. Has life by percentage removal skills. Also has healing skills. And last but not least, those zero cooldown skills. So this monster doesn't really need any stamina, and he can just keep on spamming the life every single time, like move life. And I think he also heals from it, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, it's just overall really good. I personally need to rank this monster up. I know I only have it at 100. If I had the resources, I would actually max it out. Now remember what I said earlier about, you know, roles being different, but I'd rather choose this monster over a different one that's an actual attacker. Well, who do you guys think I'm actually talking about in here? If we had to talk and kind of like cover somebody here. Yep, I don't think you would have guessed it, but it's Graciel. Graciel, man, come on guys, you got to give him credits, all right? This monster, as even though it's supposed to be a tank, he has some life by percentage removal skills, but also he deals a lot of damage, like a heavy fire damage that could come in handy. Plus, this monster actually has a sword, which actually helps out for the most part if you actually run a you know, really good sword. He can actually deal the damage. He can also resist the damage and everything else. So look at that, immune to torture, immune to control. Come on. It's amazing. It's an amazing monster, and I feel like not a lot of players actually run this monster as an attacker. I personally do like it as an attacker. I actually tend to run it sometimes. Even for example, the current war. If you take a look at this current war, we have fire as one of the monster equipments, like the elements. I'm not running it on my defense because I'm actually running it on my defense, but it's synced. But because there was Kirk Moonwalker, which is a better attacker than that one in terms of being an attacker. And I can show you guys all the coins that I defended. Like, for example, take a look at this one right here. 3 coins defended. We have 1 coin right here. And there's another 2 coin right there. So you guys can definitely see how good this monster is. The only reason why a lot of players dislike this monster is because of the ultimate. So the ultimate gives Megaton damage mirror. Graciel is supposed to receive damage 4 times and he gets his awakening. I mean, it's very easy for his awakening to be awakened. But what a lot of players don't like is this part right here, where it removes all positive side effects from all of your allies and then deals 10% damage every time that effect is removed. Now, me personally, I never actually use the actual ultimate. I just have him awakened just for the Megataunt and also the 25% damage boost or damage mirror. And of course, there's also a damage section that helps you out. But overall, it could be a really good monster if used as an attacker. The next monster we're going to go over is Sibidu the Apex. Now, I know a lot of you guys don't actually like this monster. And you know what I mean? I'm with you guys, but here's the thing. This monster can still be good as an attacker. I've seen it. I've seen it in play with the extra turns, all the extra turns. This monster's actually really good. I wouldn't say it's like a must-have, but I would say in the top 10 attackers, this monster has made it into that list. What makes this monster so good? Of course, the extra turns. I also do like, of course, the Evil Legions book. I feel like there's not a lot of monsters that I see nowadays in that. Pretty much all of them are in the good legions. And also, let's talk about the traits. The traits are actually not that bad. You have area dodge, immune to blind, immune to possession, cooldown immunity, random torture to everybody. Stats are overall good, and the monster is just amazing. The only thing is, of course, the awakening that makes the monster kind of bad. But if I had to invest in it, I'd do it. But here's the thing, guys. When I tell you guys to invest in these monsters, I'd rather first invest in the top list, which we're going to get into in a second. I would need you guys to invest in those ones first. Once you max those out, then go down the list and get these other ones maxed out as well. Now, the next monster that we're going to go over is not in this one. It's actually in the Historia here. We're going to go down, and it's Rapunstina. So Rapunstina is an amazing attacker, guys, especially for the nature element. Now, there's not a lot of meta nature monsters in that category, but if you actually play in the top team wars, you know what I'm talking about. This monster is being used in almost every defense. If they don't run Robo Tito or, like, for example, Goblard, I think that's a name, but you guys know what I'm talking about. The witch monster with like the resurrection block trait. A lot of players tend to use this monster instead as an attacker, and she's actually pretty solid, I would say. She's really good. You got the self-satisfier umbrella hater, for example, that helps you deal like triple damage. So you get a hater against it, and that covers hardened, tough, and bulwark traits. On top of that, you do have these other two, which aren't really the best. So traits is okay. It could have been better, but she just deals such insane damage, guys. For example, take a look at this. Insane metal damage to an enemy applies light hater. So that could be really good against JJ or any other light monsters that you have. You do have this other one right here, which applies the double damage first, and then you deal the massive damage. So you guys can see how nice that is, and you get a torture on top of that. And then remember what I told you guys about this one? Toxins. Yeah, it's a massive major damage, but also you're applying toxins, and the best part is it's a 0 cooldown. So if you ever get hit with CDA, you're fine. You can go ahead and basically spam this as much as you want as long as you have the stamina. And then we have an AoE version as well. You do have another one, massive nature damage. If you want to run this one with Umbrella Hater instead, there's a triple damage, for example, and a double damage. So you can basically stack up both of them. Just make sure that the enemy doesn't cleanse it or, for example, possess you. But I think, wait, the monster is actually immune to possession if I'm not mistaken. Oh yeah, there it is. Look at that. Immune to possession. Anyways, overall, it's a great monster. I really do like it, and I do like the books as well. So I'd recommend investing in it. Now, the next monster. Now, this one's actually a hybrid. Can you guys guess who it is in here? We're going to be talking about Evaris the Obscure, right? So this monster is also really good as an attacker. You can also run it as a denier, supporter, whatever you want to do. A resurrector, of course. This monster plays every role. And it's a really good one if you do tend to run as an attacker. A lot of players, you don't see too many players running as an attacker, but I feel like this monster does have potential if you do run it as an attacker. If I had to choose between this and, of course, another monster in here, like let's say Bashir, I'd rather run Evaris as an attacker over Bashir because of the huge nerf that the monster got. Now, that doesn't mean that Bashir is a bad monster, but I'm just saying Evaris is just a better option. Same with, like, for example, versus Stormbringer, I'd rather use Evaris over that monster. And I know there are different elements and stuff like that, but You know what I mean? You know what I mean. So relics are amazing. The traits are great too. Skills are fantastic. You even get denials on top. Now, for example, right here, look at this. Somebody's actually running it as an attacker, and this is top PvP we're talking, guys. Veronica 7883. Yep, this player is number 3 right now on PvP with 3,900 trophies, and that player is actually running Evaris as an attacker. Let me see if this player is. Oh, this one's running it as a denier with the speed runes and stuff like that. But you guys can see how popular this monster is on PvP, even in like the top, and you will see it in Team Wars as well if you guys play like top Team Wars, or it doesn't even have to be necessarily top Team Wars, but you guys get the point. I would highly recommend investing in him if you guys haven't already. Max it out if you can. The reason why I say max it out is because you get that self evasion at status at rank 5, which can actually help you with your awakening down the line in the battle. Now, the next monster, guys, it's in this era, the new era, and that is Crocark. Now, Crocark is amazing as an attacker. You guys, like the design, oh my gosh. Now, besides the design, I know this isn't about like designs, but yo, you gotta give him credits for the design. This was like such a point that like they went all out with this. I know you guys can't see it because it's dark, but man, this monster is amazing. Now take a look at the traits. So you get immune to control, hardened, random torture, status killers to everybody. On top of that, it's actually in one of the books that there's not a lot of monsters in. For example, the Dragon's book. They recently did fill it up though. They added in a five-star trait, which I actually did invest in. But yeah, Crocark, man, this monster is just amazing. I'd highly recommend investing in it, guys. I know it's behind paywall, but if you can purchase it, get it to like level 100, just get the egg, and then on top of that, start investing and get it a little bit higher. I'd highly recommend doing it. On top of that, you do have evil legions as well, which this monster could come in handy. Also, water and thunder. Come on. So for example, the thunder category, same with water, right? So he can use those thunder damaging skills against his own element, water, deal a lot of damage. And all those water monsters, they gotta watch out because this monster can deal a lot of damage. So just overall, really powerful monster, and I would recommend investing. And if you guys haven't already, get it, pick it up. And for those of you guys that did, good job. Now the next monster is in the same era. Yep, the same era, the new one, and that is the Tecticone. So this monster did get released recently in a bounty hunt, and he can deal serious damage. Besides that, you get anticipation trait, right? You get immune to blind and immune to torture status caster. So no torture is going to hit you for the first few turns, basically, unless they PER it. But anyways, overall, this monster is just so powerful. Look at that, 54k strength. And this comes stock, guys. Okay, so you don't even have to give it any strength or anything like that. But if you do, he is going to go up there, you know what I mean, in terms of stats. In terms of books, he is lacking, honestly. That's the only downside. But take a look at the elements. You do have dark and also light. And I understand in light category, you can use JJ over him. But he can still be an option, you know what I mean? If you guys want to go ahead and run him for defense. Because JJ doesn't come with the anticipation, but this monster does. So if there's a big threat, like let's say Genesis, for example, and the enemy team, and they try to attack your base, you can basically use this monster and it might surprise them because they might not notice that the anticipation is there. And this monster is pretty underrated in my opinion. So I would recommend picking him up if you guys haven't already from the bounty hunt. And if you guys want, I'll do an analysis on it as well. Now the last two monsters are part of the ancestral, okay? And we're going to go ahead and go over it. Which one do you guys think it is? I know some of you guys are like, it's Jestin Justice. You're not wrong, okay? But we're not going to get into that. The first monster we gotta go over is Kirk Moonwalker, guys. This monster, oh my goodness, he is near perfect. The only thing he's missing is immune to torture. I swear, every single one of my battles where I lost, like where the monster dies, this monster dies specifically when I'm using him, is because of tortures. That's the only thing he's lacking. If he had immune to torture, okay, here, I would actually personally, I would make it perfect doing this, okay? So I would keep the immune to control because that's good. The light damage immunity helps counter against JJ and Evaris. The special damage immunity also helps, right, counter those monsters, especially JJ. Then you have the Status Pierce Hater, cooldown immunity. That actually does counter Primerion, you know, because of the cooldown immunity, so that's good. But it's a Status Caster though, you know what I mean? So unless this monster gets in the first turn before Primerion, or else CD is gonna hit you, you know what I mean? But the Pierce Hater is also really good against those Pierce monsters if you want to go ahead and run it. Man, I don't know. What would I personally do to like make this monster perfect? If I had to swap out one of these traits for, like, for example, immune to torture, I would either just swap out the Pierce Hater or the cooldown immunity. One of the two, honestly. I understand, like, cooldown immunity, that's really good if Primerion is in the enemy team, they try to CDA you because that would counter that. And also immune to control just counters it like perfectly, you know what I mean, because of the time stop and everything, so it won't land at all. And also, it even counters the other 2 ancestral monsters. Actually, 3. Oh my gosh, it's Tideborn. It is Diabolus. Come on, right? Because of those immune to controls. And Graciel. Come on, man. Graciel. Like, yo, this monster is just packing it. You know what I mean? And I personally would highly recommend investing in it. Again, the only thing that he's really missing is immune to torture. But you can always run a monster on your side that would help remove those negative side effects or tortures, give you torture immunity. This monster is also in the C book, which is really good. Mechanical book. You don't see a lot of good monsters in those books, to be honest. So I would highly recommend investing in it, guys. This is one of the best attackers in my opinion. This monster, I feel like a lot of players just overlook it, but he is really, really powerful. Especially in team wars, he can be a huge threat. Like, no matter who he's going up against, if you make this monster super fast, taken in the first turn, he could just, like, destroy. You guys saw my defense earlier, right? Those coins that I chipped, because of him, thanks to him, you know what I mean? Even though Graciel's in the enemy team, Primarian's in the enemy team, this monster was able to remove evasion, deal damage, like those massive, insane water damage skills. He hits very heavy. Now, anyways, guys, the #1 spot, I'd give it to JJ, guys. JJ is amazing, okay? Now, what makes this monster so good, okay? Besides his superhero look, right? His heroic look, you get some really good traits here. So, immune to torture, immune to blind, tough, area light weakness, one of my personal favorites, and then sunburn. So, the area light weakness, that basically makes the enemy all weak to you straight away if they don't have Megatons. And even if they do have Megaton, it's going to go towards the Megaton, but it's better if it just spreads out to everybody. But anyways, you can deal some damage, get yourself 25 or I think it's 50% damage boost, and then you apply double damage on top of that. And there is a sword that actually helps him as well, kind of awaken his, you know, awakening a little bit faster. If you pair it up with any damage boosters, that's also really good towards his awakening. But anyways, he has massive light damage skills. There's like heavy AoEs. There's also special damage skills and stuff like that. So overall, it's a fantastic monster. Now, here's the thing, guys. In the comments, let me know, who do you guys think is better, JJ or Kirk? Because Kirk just hard counters JJ like insane. So that's what I don't understand. A lot of players just, they tend to go with JJ, but then they don't see this monster. They like overlook it, in my opinion. Who do you guys think is better, this one or JJ? Okay, I understand JJ is amazing. Okay, I'm not saying that he's anything bad. He is great. His awakening is amazing too. He removes positive side effect. I think also trait disables, mega stuns and everything like that. That is, I'll give him credits for that. But the way that this monster just counters his damaging skills, his normal damaging skills besides his ultimate, it's just insane to me. Like, for example, light damage immunity, special damage immunity, he's not able to deal any damage. And then, of course, when it comes down to the Mega Sun, he can't really apply it, of course, unless he trait disables. If he had trait protection, that would be insane. You know what I mean? But this monster is just piece of art, in my opinion. The only thing he's missing is immune to torture. But anyways, JJ is the first spot. His awakening is so broken. It's literally the most broken ultimate in the game right now. Let me know in the comments if you guys think there's anything better than this, but I think this is like insanely broken. And yeah, he is he's there. The only thing he's missing, I would say, actually no, he has Pierce as well. Remember, his awakening gives him Pierce, so he gets that Pierce and he just goes through everything and just trait disables, deals everything, and it's just crazy. So anyways, guys, let me know in the comments down below if you guys would make any changes to this top 10 attacker list that I made. But some honorable mentions is Grafania Iron Wings. Grafania is still somewhat there if you guys can't forget about this monster, right? He's an OG. I understand his in terms of stats, it's a little bit kind of old, but you know what I mean? He's also there. Another honorable mention would be Voltic Redeemed. Come on, we can't forget about Voltic Redeemed. But honestly, that would be pretty much it in terms of that. Maybe Crocark Reskin, you know, if you were to use this monster as an attacker. But then again, I'd rather use Graciel. I don't know. But you guys let me know in the comments down below if you guys would make any changes to this top 10 attacker list that I made. But I would highly recommend investing in it, especially in the order that I made. I know there's a couple of monsters like near the beginning that I kind of switched up. If you guys want to switch it up, you can. For example, Gardenion versus Sibidu to Apex. I'd rather invest in Gardenion first before Sibidu. I think I actually kind of like messed up that order. But anyways, those monsters that I mentioned, the top 10, I'd highly recommend investing in it, especially, you know, JJ, Kirk. Get those maxed out and then work down the line as well. That's going to be pretty much it. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.